is build out priorities. So when you have a to-do list, my wife is so fun. She before she goes to bed, she has to write down everything that is on her mind that she wants to get done. So she's like, I'm gonna do laundry, I'm gonna paint the bathroom, I'm gonna clean up the backyard, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then she starts adding things that need to be done that don't fall in her job description. As a mom, that sounds bad saying it that way. But like mow the lawn, weed the garden. We have four kids that are able to do this, and then a baby she has to take care of. But so she has to like brain dump. Her problem is why she feels overwhelmed, and I'm not allowed to tell her this anymore. She tells me, is she has no priority in what she needs to do. So everything on her list is just as equally as important. And so if she gets one done, she feels good about it. But let's be honest, there's things that are more important in our lives that if we got done, we'd be further ahead. And so the whole concept here is we might just brain dump everything we have to do, but then there's something that we can't do. We just don't have enough time, energy, or effort in our lives that we can do it. So you need to decide what is the most important thing. And the One Thing book, let's see, where is it on my wall? This one, uh, it says, what's the one thing such by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. Now, in life, that's usually not true, especially if you're doing two things, right? If you have a job and you're trying to do real estate, there's not one thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary because you still have to be your job. You still have to do your real estate and build your business and things like that. So a lot of it is figuring out what's the most important. And if you did that, that everything else becomes easier or necessary, and then looking at the two worlds and deciding which of those need to go first. There's this idea along with that of the important versus urgent matrix, right? Like imagine a little T, top left or right is urgent and important. These are the things that are so easy to do, right? Oh, look at this. Cade has this literally on his wall. It's like we planned this. So, number one is urgent and important. These make sense to do, right? It's we have a deadline to write an offer. If I don't write this offer, I'm not going to get an under contract. Like that is urgent. There's a deadline. That's important. I don't do it. I don't go under contract. Very simple, urgent, and important. The opposite, number four, is the not urgent, not important. This is scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever that's not going to actually move the needle at all. It is binge watching a show. Like there's nothing urgent or important about any of this. Where we get stuck is this two and three, right? Something that's important but not urgent, or urgent but not important. So the way you should do it is number one is urgent and important. Number is two is important, not urgent, which is the hardest part. And this is where you will get tripped up because urgent begs for our time, but it is not important. I used to joke around with my transaction coordinator that if she waited long enough to answer someone's question, it would already be solved for her. And it's not a lie, it's because it was urgent and important to someone else. So it just became urgent to her. But if she wasn't the answer, they would find another answer or solve the problem in another way. Not a great customer experience way to go about things, but it definitely helped her prioritize a little bit. So if you're looking at something and you say, this is urgent, but not important, that should not be the top of your list. If it's urgent and important, then definitely be the top of your list. So that's my answer to you. It's yes to time block, yes, looking at priorities, but let's focus on only important tasks. Start with the urgent, then move to the not urgent, and then you can end with the someone else's urgent, but not important to you kind of a task. Did that make sense, Taryn?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Now, putting into practice is hard, right? Like one of the things that I always say is your email is someone else's to-do list, which is the classic definition of not important, right? And so it's going to fall in that 3 or 4 category, either urgent or not urgent. And We constantly are checking our emails and trying to be responsive and respond very quickly to people. And that is causing all of our time and energy to be put in a not urgent or a not important task, just an urgent task because someone is expecting us. But we're making that up. If I send an email to someone, what's my actual expectation of them? Not that they're going to respond within minutes. Like I think it's now in their to-do list, so I expect it to be done in a day, hopefully less. But if I need something, I'm calling someone. That's an urgent and important. I'd text someone before I'd email them if it's a little more important, and email less. It's just like I need to get this off of my brain and into someone else's plate, pass my to-do list to someone else. So if you can avoid the things that are making you feel like they are urgent when they are not really, such as your email, turning your phone on do not disturb, those kind of things, and going full force into one thing at a time and focus on that until it is done, and then moving forward, you're going to be better off. And um, right now, 70% is a passing grade, right? C's get degrees, kind of an idea. If you don't have the time, energy, and effort to perfect it or get it to your standards, what would be like a 70%? What would be like acceptable but not perfect that if you got it there, you can get by and then you can work on getting it further along later? C's get degrees. I'm a big believer in that, not just because that's how I got through college, but because oftentimes getting something 70% done is better than not doing it at all, right? Not having a script when you call people is better than not calling people, right? Not having a packet in your buyer's appointment is better than not going on a buyer's appointment, but having an awesome packet. So, let's see what Kai's saying. Most productive in the morning and late at night. Love that. Circadian rhythms. It's a real thing. Figure out when you're productive and focus then. I love it. Um, what do
I
you
have a
guys?
quick question.
Oh, go, Priscilla. Then I have a challenge for all
Sorry.
of you.
Um, like this Saturday, I have a open house that I'm doing. Is it
Hmm.
okay to have my own of something to give out, like kind of like a little about me type of thing that I did, like
Definitely.
for maybe like if somebody needs me as an agent or something, there's something that I can pass out. Um, or is that like you're not supposed to do that because it's not your open house?
Nope. If you're sitting in the open house, you get to run it however you want.
Okay,
I'd
perfect.
suggest, yeah, I suggest when you do an open house for another agent, um, do not pay them a referral fee. um, unless they have something that they are doing for you in behalf of that. Like if they're like, I will pay you for this open house, and then any leads you get, I want a referral fee. Like, okay, I'd maybe be okay with something like that. But typically, I don't want to pay a referral fee if I'm doing an open house because it is also a favor to that agent. For example, in the productivity coaching, I sent out a message, 2 open houses. Taryn's got one. We still got one more. Um, but they are like, they told the sellers, like, we will do an open house on Saturday. And now it is Friday and they have one of 2 covered. So they're like in a bind. So you are helping them out just as much as they are helping you out. So don't pay that. And then market yourself, right? Go
Okay.
crazy on social medias, on when people walk in, the follow up, all of it, because
Okay,
it.
and the sign-in sheet. I'm sorry.
Yep, sign-in sheet should be yours. You should keep that. Don't even send it to the other agent.
Okay, perfect. That's what my other question was because he asked me like, "Oh, do you have a sign-in sheet?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I do. I didn't, but now I do." But he was gonna send me
Yeah.
his own and then to mail it back to him. And I was like thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna ask Cameron about that.
Yeah, no, I would be very open and honest about how many people were there, how many gave feedback, what they said, all of that. But open houses should be a lead generation activity.
Okay,
So
great.
you are doing the activity, you should get them.
Okay, thank you so much, Cameron.
Yes. Okay, I have a challenge for you. I want you, Kylie loves these. I'm trying to think of which one. I have a couple of in mind. What did I do last time, Kylie? Did you remember? Was it call someone from high school?
I think it's just call 5 people in the next hour or something.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Ooh, that one might be better. No, but this one, I want you to call someone that you were friends with in high school that you probably haven't talked to in years and years and just catch up. No agenda, right? You don't even have to talk real estate. Like just get back in there. And if you call someone, it has to be a call. This is my one rule. It has to be a call. If you call them and they do not answer, keep calling people that fit this category and just catch up. And it could just literally be like, hey, I just thought of you. I wanted to catch up. How's life? What's new? How many kids do you have? Like whatever. Where are you working? Like, it doesn't matter. You can run the Ford script, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams, or you can just chit chat and be like, remember that time where we built a snowboarding ramp in our backyard and you ran into the fence and broke things? Like it could be as easy as that. Like that just came to my mind and I thought it was funny. What are you up to nowadays? So call at least one person. You have to talk to one person you haven't talked to since high school. Um, well, yeah, if you don't have their number, search their name on public records. Good call. And if you run out of people or phone numbers, message them on Facebook and hey, say like do like a catch up, like, hey, I randomly thought about you. What are you up to nowadays? And then whenever they say something, you can message back and be like, hey, I want to call you and like actually hear from you. What's your phone number? And then that way you have a way to get their number and start chatting with them. And go have fun with this. That's what it's meant to be. This is not a scary task. This is a fun one. Go reconnect with some of those friends. Okay. I love it. Today's our last day for what are we on? M and X? 17th. Yeah. M and X. Even better if someone from high school, their last name starts with M or X. Because that's what this week of calls is. Katie, you don't know about this. I'll tell you about it one day, but that's what we're on. So go crush it. Have a good weekend if I don't hear from you, and go make some phone calls. We'll
Thank
see y'all
you.
soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you.
Y'all.
Thanks.